All right, we're here in the ARS-TV garage again, and I've got a special guest. This is Rick Galscheit from Bruin Brake Cable Company, a local company here in Lake County, and welcome to the garage.
Well, thanks so much for having me here, Dave.
All right. And your business is emergency brake cables.
Absolutely. We build a very high-quality product right here in Chicagoland. Okay.
And tell me the importance of an emergency brake cable.
Well, it's one of the least used and least maintained products on the vehicle. But at the same time, it's one of the most important aspects of what you're doing. What you have is a product that not only can back up your braking system if brake pressure goes to zero, you also have something that can help you get out of slippery situations in the wintertime. If that's working correctly by slowly putting on the emergency brake, it can help you gain traction in critical areas. And one of the most important things is one of the things that you may not use every day, but when you use it, you want to make sure that it works. Another aspect is you have a lot of states now mandating that these emergency brake systems work. And if it's not working and it sticks, you're not going to pass inspection.
Okay, you've manufactured brake cables now that will cover most of the import, domestic, but I understand you have a custom program also. Tell us about that.
We do. I mean, first of all, we have about 66,000 different applications going back to the 1940s. Also, we do custom cables. So what does that mean? If you're putting a 9-inch Ford rear end on a Chevy product or any combination along those, we can make a custom emergency brake cable to suit your needs. Not only that, but we can do your 4x4s. If you're taking a stock cable and putting on a 10-inch lift on a 4x4, you're going to be stretching that cable and putting it in areas where it could get into trouble. By putting a custom cable on there with the correct length, you're going to have a real sharp setup. Okay,
and I noticed I stopped by Heights the other day and they had their independent rear suspension, and they've configured a new parking brake for that, which was one of the items that was lacking for quite a bit, and you had some involvement in that. Tell me about that.
Oh, that was a fantastic project. I mean, Height is just a fantastic company to work with, and it's been so exciting for our team to work with them to develop this new product where their IRS system is going to have an awesome emergency brake system to go with it.
So what is BruinBrakeCables.com and how did you get started?
Well, Dave, we're the only manufacturer that we believe on the planet right now that actually manufactures a high-quality emergency brake cable, sells it directly to the installers around the world. I think that's pretty unique. Yeah. And it's a very high-quality product. We're not using some of the things that you see in other cables. We have machine components, quality steel machine components. We try to stay away from plastics and from pot metal, which can crack and break and cause you problems. We have aircraft type wire cable, which is coated for corrosion resistance, and we also offer a old style retro wrapped steel so that it looks a lot like the OEM, or we can offer the newer corrosion resistant plastic coated outside conduit.
Okay. And if somebody were wanting to get something from you, whether it be for their daily driver or for one of their older vehicles, where can we reach you?
BruinBrakeCables.com. You can do your shopping there, or you can go to Amazon, or you can go to eBay.
And you directly ship that right out of your manufacturing plant here in Lake County, is that correct?
We pride ourselves in instant customer service. We try to get it out the same day. If not, it'll go out the following day. Custom cables are going to require a little bit longer. We stock over 300 different cables in our facility for immediate shipment. If your cable is not something that we stock, we'll usually get it out for you in about 2 to 3 days.
Okay, and thinking about brake cables, how often should they be replaced?
Well, a lot of mechanics that we've talked to have basically said that 50,000 miles is a good mark. Yeah. A lot of OEs at this point are using plastic type cables and some other kind of things. It might be a good idea to have them looked at corrosion can happen, there could be dings and other impediments that would make the cables non-functional. The further north you are, the more you should look at that cable.
Right, we are in the Rust Belt here. You know, Rick, one of the interesting things is that I did have to use my emergency brake at Great Lakes Dragway one time whenever I got up to the line. I have a real habit of whenever I get up to the line, I pump the brake pedal before I get there just to see, and the master cylinder had gone out, and I was able to get the car off the track back to the trailer by pulling the handle and using the emergency brake to get it back to the trailer. Is there any other applications that emergency brake might be used, let's say in autocross or drifting or anything like that, where your cables might be...
I'm not a drifting expert, but they don't call it emergency brake for nothing. I'm glad you had that, and I'm glad your system was functioning when you needed it. But in drifting, I guess it's going to be very important that you have high quality components, because the emergency brake is an integral part of the sport. And Bruin cables, I think, are going to be your best bet. Well,
Rick, thanks for being here. Your facility is really fantastic here for a small manufacturing company in Lake County, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you much, Dave. Hi, welcome to Bruin Brake Cables. We're going to show you how we make brake cables here in the USA. My name's Rick Gelscheid, president and owner.
And I'm Brian Brum, director of operations.
Let's start the tour. These are Ardos cutting machines. They are crucial in cutting the cables to length and the inner wires to make sure that we follow all the specifications that are required. At this location, we're pressing on the outer sheaths. Our sheaths are made in steel. A lot of cables that come in from the import are made in plastic. Ours are steel, and they're being put on by good old American Federal presses. I like that. This is our component inventory. This is where we keep accurate track of every component. There's over 400 different components that go into the 66,000 different applications that we provide.
Behind me we have our final assembly. This is where we put our wire fittings and our springs and everything else that goes on the cable before we send it to final packing.
This is where the Made in USA makes all the difference. This is our pressure test. This is where we make sure that our cables are the best cables that you can buy. Let's go, Brian.
Here we go. Just going to close the safety guard here. So we test our cables to over 1,000 pounds. We make sure it holds for more than 5 seconds. So I'm just going to put it right up to the poundage that we tested at, and we hold it for 5 seconds. And if it holds for 5 seconds, we know it passes.
So there you have it. That's how we build brake cables at Bruin. This is our finished product, ready to be shipped around the world. We're proud of it, and I hope you're proud of your Bruin cables too.